Hi, Sue Wilson here, and I have a lovely baking card for you today. I've had so much fun with this new apron and all the accessories. I can't wait to show you. The items we'll be using include the dotted matrix embossing folder. Now this is a pinpoint folder. It's a smaller size, but it's absolutely beautiful. I love this one. Here from our new Necessities line is the Baked with Love. It's got all sorts of little goodies there. And we have the apron that comes with some other goodies. So together you've got more than enough to make beautiful cards. And we're going to cut the apron out of the classic Elegance collection. Okay. Set these to the side. Pop that up there. So the first thing I want to do is a little bit of embossing. And I've just got a piece of coconut white card. And I will give you a quick measurement on it. It is 6 inches by 5 inches. So I'm going to use the dot matrix and we're going to pop that in there, and I'm going to just try and lean in and get it nice and straight. Because it's got a linear pattern to it, you will be able to tell if you have it offset crooked. And the pinpoint folders are a tiny bit thicker, so they don't require the extra tan mat and the Creative Expressions plate. You can use the raspberry adapter with them. Pop that on there. There's different layers to the emboss on this, so the folders have to be a tiny bit thicker. So let me just get underneath there and you'll hear all the little pinpoints popping off of that. Isn't that amazing? I just love the detail in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put it onto our background. I've put a piece of silver mirror card on there, and I'm just going to pop this into place on top of that. Tell you what, we'll just use a little bit of tape for that. Get that down nice and flat. Get the other couple of sides here. There we go. We'll fit that and just have a little bit of that silver edge showing on either side. Let's see. There we go. So I'll go ahead and put that onto my background. My pierced white card, and I've got a little bit of that silver mirror card as a matte, just to bring that tone in. Pop that into place. There we go, and now we'll work up from there. So I'll set that to the side for the moment. I'm going to use a piece of the classic Elegance to cut the apron, and we will cut it so that the lines on the pattern go this way. Just line that up. Right about like that. A couple pieces of tape. Let's bring in our cutting plates. Pop that down. Now what I like to do with this one is, and I'll show you, I'll just take this out of here. That tape off. And although there are a couple little slits left in here for your apron pockets, I like to do a second apron pocket. So I'm just going to cut it using just the bottom of this, and I'm going to go the other direction, so it goes this way on the pattern. Pop that off. Let's retire that piece. Okay, so now we're just going to take our scissors and cut right along the slits there. So I have a nice little piece that I can use for the apron. And I've got one I've done ahead of time, and I've added a little bit of mounting foam on the back to give it some depth. So I'm going to bring that in and attach it. Peel off the little pieces, and I've just kept it right down the centers of each of those little pockets. There we go. Put it right in place over the original one, but like I said, the pattern is going the other way now. There's also a tiny little upper pocket, and I've gone ahead and cut that, added a little mounting foam, and we're going to pop that into place at the top. And then I've got some thin white satin ribbon that we will use as little ties, and we'll just feed it through the holes. I've got already a knot in that one, and I've got a knot in this one. And we'll put this one around the top and tie a knot on the other side. So I'm just going to bring that down a little bit, and we'll just tie that off probably a couple of knots, and then trim it out like that. And then another knot just to make sure it doesn't pull back through that hole. There we go. We'll trim that off. There we go. Okay, so let's get all these out of the way. I'm going to bring in a piece of mounting foam to add to the back. Pop that down the center. And let's use another little one here and here. Okay, so now we can bring our background back into play, take off our mounting foam, and we're going to set this at kind of a jaunty angle. There we go. Just across the back, and we'll move these ties around as we finish off the card. So about like that. Okay, so now I'm going to cut a bunch of little bits for the rest of our card. So I've got a piece of coconut white card, I've got a little whisk, some salt and pepper shakers, little potholdery thing, measuring spoons, a mixing bowl, and a spatula sort of guy. And I'm not going to tape them. I'm just going to be very careful and watch them as they go through. Once you get there, they should be all right. There we go. Okay, give them a quick cut. And we're going to add some of those fun bits to our apron. Okay, bring that out here. There we go. Bring in my copy paper, and we'll start taking these out, and we're going to add some little finishing touches to these. In fact, I'll leave that one like that. There. There's my bowl, the other salt and pepper shaker, and the spatula. There we go. Oops. Piece there. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my silver paint pen, give it a quick shake, and I'm going to turn these completely metallic looking. There we go, like that. I'm going to do the tops of the salt and pepper shaker, both those, and I'm going to do just the bottom part of the spatula. And the whisk part here I'm going to do. There we go. Give those a second to dry, so I'll move them out of my way. There's my bowl. I'm going to do a little inking through the mat, and I've got a couple of distress markers. I'm just going to add a little bit of color to my craft mat with these and pick it up with a smoothie. Let's see if that'll do the trick. Hoping that'll get through that. There we go. So I've got just a little bit of a pale pink coming through on my pot holder. Pop that out. And I've got these two that I did earlier, the rolling pin and the wooden spoon. And I'm just, oops, excuse me, I'm just going to add a little bit of ink to those. And I'll use some antique linen for that, just to give it the highlight of color. And I want to go through the die on this. Let me pop it back into place. There we go. And that way. Same thing with this one. Right on that side. There we go. And I'm going to give just the handles a little bit of pink. Tiniest bit of color on there. There we go. Okay. So now I've got all sorts of little bits I can use. So we're going to start decorating our apron here. So I'm going to just use a little bit of glue, and I've got the pot holder here. I'm going to do kind of a little corner so it looks like it's hanging from our apron right there. Put that on the outside. And I've got our measuring spoons here, and I'm going to hang them from the top of the pocket. So I'm just going to grab that corner just like that and hang them over the edge. I've got a whisk coming out of the edge of the pocket. Pop that right down like that. Put that there. And let's get the salt and pepper shaker. We want to have both of those coming out of the center. Tiny bit of glue there. Let me get a hold of this one. That one can kind of sit down in front of it, a little lower. And the spatula, let's put this guy in first. Put our rolling pin in the side, coming up off the edge. And the spatula can come out right in front of it. There we go. Get that right underneath there, a little bit lower. And I did go ahead and cut one of the little cheese graters out of the mirror card earlier, and we can add some glue to that. Put that right into that little pocket, and our wooden spoon can fit in there as well. Right on top of it, I think. So cute. Okay, so now I've got the apron all decorated. We have a little mixer that came with the set, so I've added a little bit of mounting foam with that. I cut it in the antique silver card with just a little bit of the mirror card for the little handle. Pop that down in this corner. And we've got the cup that we cut, and I'm going to put that into place right in that mixer. There you go. Very nice. Now I've got two of the sentiments. It says baked with love. I've got one cut out of the antique silver and one out of the mirror. So I'm just going to use this as the top. So let me just pick it up, and I have, I thought I had some tweezers. All right, I'll use my fingers. Just give it a quick spray. And then we're going to offset the bright silver one here, the mirror, just as a little highlight shadow for it. So let me just grab the edge of that. Just make it slightly offset so you can just see a hint of silver behind it. That looks nice. And a quick spray on that. There we go. Now I'm going to give that a second. I'll tell you what, I'm actually going to add a little bit of Cosmic Shimmer glue to that, just because we have that embossed area to have it stick onto. I'm going to give it some more reinforced glue here. Give it a second. And then we've got our little ties that I said we could do them a little bit later. So I'm just going to leave these so they come down. We'll use maybe a partial glue dot, should hold that in place. And we can just peel these up and put a little bit like, oh, let's say right about like that. Pop that down. Oops, get on there. So it comes off the edge of that. And then we can have this one come up and put a little bit, just a tiny bit, and we'll trim the ends on it around our sentiment. There we go. Pop that down. That should be good and sticky there. And it will sit beautifully in that corner. Bring our scissors in. We'll trim the extra bit off of here and here. There we go. And we have such a cute little baking card. Isn't that sweet? And you could have so much fun decorating your apron in different ways, personalizing it for whoever you're giving it to. I just think this is adorable. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and look for us soon on our YouTube channel.